To all the non-believers, 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 non-believers. I'm making non-believers say.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Varsity, and welcome to episode 50 of NBA Talk Playoff Edition. Now, let's get right to the chase because I got a lot to talk about right now, especially about certain individuals. We got some shockingly news, and whatever. Get to the point. Let's start with the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. I called this. I knew this game was going to be a beatdown. I knew this game was going to be a beatdown. There was no way in hell that Milwaukee was not going to finish off Boston last night. I knew that wasn't going to happen. And Kyrie Irving being Kyrie Irving, he did the same exact thing, except I think he was done with this team. But before I get on Kyrie, let me just credit the Milwaukee Bucks. These dudes are not to be messed with. These dudes are not to be messed with. They are officially a title contender. Well, not officially. I've been said they were a title contender. This team has the roster to win it all. I'm saying it. I think the Milwaukee Bucks could win it all. Up and down, this team is deep. They're young. They're athletic. They're just long, and they play top-notch, tough defense. Like, this team just knows how to communicate. They play team basketball. They know the centerpiece is Giannis, and they know it damn well. But they built this team and surrounded him with shooters and playmakers and defenders. Mike Budenholzer has done a great job with this team. He has done a very good job with this team. It's just incredible the little adjustments that they made, and they go from what they were last year to losing in 7 to Boston in the first round to now going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Man, but like I said, man, the Milwaukee Bucks, they're not to be messed with. Like, people were underestimating them. Oh, Milwaukee's gonna get exposed once they play Boston. Boston won one game, and Paul Pierce was saying this was over, and they lost 4 straight. People were calling me crazy when I said Bucks in 5. People were calling me crazy when I said Bucks in 5. Like, they're going like, oh, the Boston Celtics, they're finally coming together. Yeah, they're finally coming together. Jason Tatum hitting 1 3-pointer the entire damn series, and Kyrie damn near shooting at 20-something% the rest of the damn series. And like I said, before I get back to Kyrie Irving, I'm gonna start with Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens, you got flat out outcoached. You did a horrible job in this series. Like, for a guy that was being compared to Greg Popovich, to being the modern day Greg Popovich, you had so much to work with, and you did a terrible job at it. Like, I'm starting to think that even last year's playoff run was a fluke. Because the fact that the toughest team you played had to have been the Philadelphia 76ers, and they crumbled and folded because it was their first decent playoff run, and then you were lucky enough to beat Milwaukee. But now I'm starting to think that playoff run from last year was a fluke, because now with more talent, you got back Kyrie Irving, you got back Gordon Hayward, you tried to integrate them together, you tried to force Gordon Hayward back into the starting lineup. You and Danny Ainge. You tried to force Gordon Hayward into the starting lineup, and you're gonna tell me you couldn't make that work? You couldn't make that work? You knew Gordon Hayward was not 100%, and I could see it from his play. I think I saw one decent game out of Gordon Hayward all season. Like, I don't understand. Why didn't you just leave him on the bench? I don't know. Maybe because that's a guy. But I'm getting sick and tired as if people were thinking that Gordon Hayward was going to be the new upcoming of Larry Bird. That's what I was hearing. That's what I've been hearing. They treated Gordon Hayward like he was gonna be the new Larry Bird. And people, that's just not how that's not how it was gonna work. That's not how it was gonna work. Gordon Hayward's not Larry Bird. Like come on, man. And then the rest of this roster, they got bit back in the ass with their own version of being conceited. They were talking all this smack. They were laughing. They were joking when they beat Indiana, and then they were laughing and joking when they won Game 1 in Milwaukee. Who's laughing now? Jaylen Brown, you could dunk on Giannis all you want. You still going home. You still went home. It's like Giannis really don't give two craps about getting dunked on as long as he's the one moving on to the conference finals and you're not. Like that's the craziest part. Everybody's going on, oh, Jaylen Brown always manages to dunk on Giannis. Yeah, but he's dunking his way back home now. And now, I'm going to get on Kyrie Irving. This was, by far, the worst playoff series by Kyrie Irving in his entire career. After watching Kyrie Irving for so many years, seeing him play in the finals against Golden State, seeing him play in the conference finals, seeing him in the playoffs since LeBron went to Cleveland, seeing how Kyrie Irving took advantage of being in the playoffs and taking over when needed. But when you get away from LeBron, when you request to get away from LeBron, and you want your own team, you want to be the man, you couldn't pull it off. The Boston Celtics, even though I said that year was a fluke, they still, on paper, have a better record with you not on the floor than you on the floor. Do we realize Kyrie Irving has shot 20-something% from the field throughout this series? Like, Kyrie couldn't buy a bucket if he wanted to in this series. He couldn't buy a bucket. Like, this was a flat-out embarrassment. Like, Kyrie Irving just straight embarrassed himself from calling himself a genius, and then after that, after calling himself a basketball genius, he shoots 7 for 22, and then he says, you're not going to get another 7 for 22 night out of me. You go 8 for 22. You make one more shot than the game prior. Like, and then you talk about that you should have shot 30 shots. You go 6 for 21 in Game 5. 6 for 21. Like, I don't know what to say here. I really don't know what to say here. Like, this Celtics season was a failure. This Celtics season was a failure the moment we saw how they were struggling in the beginning of the season. I said Kyrie, I was thinking to myself, can Kyrie prove me wrong and be the best player on a contending team? And the answer is no. The answer is no. Kyrie Irving cannot be your best player. Kyrie Irving is a ball-dominant scoring point guard. You cannot force him to be a passing point guard. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Kyrie Irving is not going to change his style for your liking. You need to fit a system. He needs to play with a co-star. And this to me was his last game in Boston. I know many of people agree with me when I say this was his last game in Boston. Because he quit on the team last night. Only scoring 15 points and shooting 6 for 21. 1 for 7 from 3. Like, I'm not letting Kyrie slide. No, sir. When you're on that superstar caliber of standards, you're going to get criticized like a superstar. And this was a superstar meltdown. This was a superstar meltdown. Like, the whole team was cracking. They did not trust Kyrie Irving for nothing in the world. The Celtics, you saw Jason Tatum, you saw Jaylen Brown, you saw these guys looking at Kyrie like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You're not moving the ball. You're taking all the shots. You're taking dumb shots. Like, this is not Celtic basketball. I'm talking in the mind of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And then, like I said, that defense that they did in game one, I told you it was not going to work. I am tired of preaching it. That defense was not going to work. That defense that they did in game one was not going to work. So far, I am right. But back on Kyrie Irving. This whole series falls on him. As much as it falls on Brad Stevens, it falls more on Kyrie Irving because you're the guy with the ball. You're the one that's got to make decisions with the basketball. You're the one that's got to get other guys involved. It's not Jason Tatum's job. It's not Jaylen Brown's job. It's not Marcus Smart's job. It's not Terry Rozier's job. It's your job. You screwed up when you were the one that was supposed to dominate this series. You were the Boston Celtics' only hope to try to get past Milwaukee, and you crumbled under the pressure. You crumbled. I'm not letting Kyrie slide. I'm going to give him what people give Russell Westbrook. I'm giving Kyrie that same treatment now. I'm giving him that same exact treatment. And anybody who tries to come in Kyrie's defense, you're blind too. You are blind too to not see that Kyrie Irving messed up. He messed up. He choked in this series. He choked. He flopped. Whatever you call it. Kyrie Irving screwed up. He screwed up bad. This was a bad look on Kyrie Irving. It makes your decision to leave Cleveland look even worse. Like, I really don't know how anybody could try to defend him. I'm even looking at, I went on Instagram last night, and I saw quick comments of people tagging Kyrie Irving saying to get the hell out of Boston. Even so, they were saying get the fuck out of Boston. Like, I heard people saying that we don't need you. Get the hell out of here. They're telling Kyrie Irving to get out because he was toxic to the team. Like, this is the same people that had faith in Kyrie Irving that they were going to make the finals. Well, I'm here to tell y'all, there's no excuses. I said last year that there was no excuses once LeBron left the Eastern Conference. I said from that point on that St. Patrick's Day, I said the Boston Celtics have no excuses. No excuses. And I'm not giving Kyrie a pass either. I'm not giving Kyrie a pass. You wanted to try to take the Eastern Conference for yourself, and guess what? You choked when it was all on you. Yes, I'm saying you choked. You crumbled. You failed under the pressure. You had to play against the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, and plenty of people had Boston winning this series, and I didn't. I didn't have Boston winning this series. And I solely said because Kyrie Irving takes way too many shots. Kyrie Irving takes way too many shots, and he was not efficient in this series whatsoever. They were lucky to even get past Indiana because I'll tell you right now, if Victor Oladipo would have been healthy, I don't even think that it would have been a 4-game sweep. There would not have been a 4-game sweep. No, sir. But yeah, Kyrie, you messed up. You messed up bad. And I'm not letting this go. And anybody who tries to defend Kyrie Irving, I will say once again, you are blind. You are absolutely blind if you let Kyrie get a pass for this. I don't care who you are. And I'm speaking to anybody who tries to say that Kyrie Irving did a decent job. Decent at what? Decent at what? Let's move on to the next game because this is I could go on about this all day, but I'm not going to do that. Now, another game that completely upset me, but not as much as a game that completely upset me. But you know what? Things happen. The Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets, Game 5. I'll be happy to admit that the Golden State Warriors, I thought they was going to run away with this. I really thought they was going to run away with this. They took a 20-point lead. I'm like, damn it, the Houston Rockets are going to get blown out. But then slowly, the Houston Rockets were coming back. And then they even took the lead at one point. But on a quick note, Kevin Durant got hurt last night. I don't believe for 1 second that that's a calf injury. I don't believe for 1 second that that's a calf injury that he has. That injury looked way different than a calf injury. He was holding his Achilles. And he looked back at PJ Tucker to see if he kicked him. He looked back to see if he kicked him, and nobody touched him. And you could see in the replay, nobody touched him. That's scary. That is scary. I don't believe that that's a calf injury whatsoever. But I could be wrong. That could be a calf strain, but it could be a grade 2 calf strain, which is still not good. You can't rush those injuries. Anything on the lower part of the legs, you cannot rush. So I believe I think Kevin Durant's done for the series. I think Kevin Durant is done for the series. That is my opinion. But speaking of the series, Houston, as soon as KD goes down, you had the opportunity of a lifetime to steal Game 5. You had the opportunity of a lifetime. There should be no such reason why you lose this game. And then what happened? You found a way to lose. Like I don't understand. I believe Houston's gonna win Game 6, but Game 7 would be interesting. I personally believe Houston's gonna win Game 6 because that KD injury is so impactful. Because you're talking about a guy who was putting up 35 a game. And now he might not be available for Game 6. No, not might be. He's not going to be available for Game 6 because that injury looked bad. I don't know. Houston, you're going to have to pull out everything in a half because from what I saw from Chris Paul and James Harden in that fourth quarter, oh my God, how on earth do you let go of an opportunity like that? How? How do you let go of an opportunity like that? Chris Paul, you're getting paid all this money and you can't make a couple of baskets to make that game a little more intense and Man, Houston better be ready to defend home court. Don't assume that Kevin Durant is not going to play. Prepare as if Kevin Durant is going to play. So you could play with that intensity. Because you're going to need every single one of it to knock out Golden State. You're going to need every single one of that intensity to knock out Golden State. You need to win Game 6. And I believe they will win Game 6, and they'll be back in the Oracle for a Game 7. I didn't want this to go to a Game 7, but it might as well happen. But the Golden State Warriors, they're gonna have a problem because this is deja vu now. This is deja vu from last year in the Western Conference Finals when CP3 hurt his hamstring. I don't know if it'll play out exactly like last year in Houston's favor, but I'm telling you right now, this was a series-turning injury. And it might as well be a title-changing injury because now, if KD is done, you're opening the door for the Denver Nuggets, your Houston Rockets, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Toronto Raptors, the Milwaukee Bucks. Hell, the Milwaukee Bucks might as well be the title favorite now. They might as well be the title favorite. The Milwaukee Bucks might as well be the title favorite if KD's down. I'm just saying that from what I see, Golden State is not as deep as they were in years past. This team is older. They're much more vulnerable. And Kevin Durant was literally the one thing that kept them above everybody else. I know Steph Curry closed out the game in the fourth quarter last night, but I don't know if he could do that again against this Rockets team, because I don't believe the Rockets are going to fold again. I don't believe the Rockets are going to fold again. And if they do, they do. But I just don't, in my heart of hearts, I don't believe James Harden's going to fold again. I don't believe CP3 is going to fold again. I don't believe PJ Tucker's going to fold again. I think the Warriors are going to be in trouble for Game 6. I think they're going to be in trouble. I just personally believe that. But yeah, we'll see what happens in Game 6. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Like, comment, subscribe if you like basketball content. This is your boy Jay Varsity, and I am out. Peace.
We got some non-believers out there.
Make believers out of non-believers. Make believers out the overseers.